Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 2 minutes from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 2-minute time check, stations. Attention, stations on the network. Our broadcast will begin in 1 minute from my mark. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. Brought to you by Oak Knoll, an active life care community. Also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Hy-Vee. Save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. And by U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Now, here is your host, Rob Brooks.
Well, it'll certainly be nice to get back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. A couple of home games coming up for the Iowa women's basketball team. One rather quickly on Wednesday afternoon. That is a 3 o'clock tip as the Ohio State Buckeyes come to Iowa City. And then a few days rest. Hawkeyes won't play this weekend, but will a week from tonight against the Purdue Boilermakers. Also a game set for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. For last week, the Hawkeyes went 1-1, taking care of Minnesota for the 42nd consecutive victory inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. Second longest streak in the nation behind Baylor, as Iowa defeated Minnesota 92-79, and then had a tough task on Saturday night against the Northwestern Wildcats. Northwestern in the top 25, playing very good basketball. And the Cats got off to a really good start, and Iowa made a couple of runs, just couldn't quite get over the hump, and lost a tough one on the road, 77-67. Welcome to Hawk Talk, as the Hawkeyes now 8-2 overall, 4-2 in the conference. Had won 4 in a row before the loss to the Wildcats, and time to start another streak against Ohio State. Going back to the Minnesota game, it was a scary start because Minnesota really did a terrific job at the start of the game, played with great defensive intensity and shot the ball just lights out. Minnesota in that first quarter, 10 of 18 overall, 55.6%. Also 5 out of 9 from three-point range. And if you're watching on YouTube, taking a look at some of the highlights, and you were hoping, certainly the Hawkeyes were, that Minnesota was going to cool off, and certainly did. And then the Hawkeyes got hot, but still, it was a close contest through 2 quarters. And then Iowa, and we'll ask Coach Bluder, maybe one of the best quarters they've had, maybe the best all year, as Iowa in that third quarter outscored Minnesota 30-13 and then 24-18 in the fourth quarter to seal that 92-79 victory. And the Hawks shot the ball very well, 53% for the game, 64% in that fourth quarter. And in the third quarter, in which Iowa scored 30 points, 55% from the floor, but 7 of 10 from three-point range, 70%. Minnesota did cool off, especially in the second half. Ended up shooting just under 44% for the game. Well, Coach, an interesting week for sure. A victory against Minnesota, and you knew it was going to be a hard-fought victory because Minnesota, especially right from the get-go, came in, played with a lot of intensity, played hard, and shot the ball so well. So you knew a couple, 3 minutes into the game that, hey, we've got 40 minutes on our hands. But really, as the game moved along, the Hawks took care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they came out of the gates and they shot the ball well, and they hadn't been shooting the ball very well. And I think it just gave them a lot of confidence. And it's so funny when, a team is shooting the ball well, the energy's higher, the joy that you're playing the game with. It's just, it's everything, right? When you're shooting the ball well. So they came out shooting the ball well and, and got off to a great start. I was really happy that we went into, halftime only down 10 because we were down 16 with 8 minutes to go in the second quarter, which I know is a lot of time, but still 16 down on your home court is a little bit alarming. And so I think we were a little shell-shocked to begin with, but we got it turned around. Halftime came, down 10, and then that third quarter, like you said, was just really a thing of beauty, outscoring them 30-13. And we shot the ball well in this game from all areas, 53% from the two-point range, 45, almost 46% from three-point range, 81% from the free throw line. We did a good job on the boards, out-rebounding them by 7. The second half was just a total different game than the first half.
It certainly was, and just some terrific individual performances as well. And Caitlin Clark with a career-high 37 points, a double-double, her third of the season because she had 11 rebounds, 10 at the defensive end, and also had 5 assists. And Monica Sonato, and we talked on the postgame show, boy, find one more rebound, just one rebound shy of a double-double, but 19 points and 9 rebounds. And then as we talked about last week, too, the performance of Megan Meyer coming off the bench, played almost 20 minutes in this contest and had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and maybe the best stat line, just 1 turnover, extended minutes because McKenna Warnock got poked in the eye and only played, less than 25 minutes.
Yeah, and McKenna's been playing such a lot of minutes for us and doing such a great job on the boards. But she got a scratch in her eye, and the doctor on staff had to take care of that and get a little numbing medicine in there. But she came back like I would expect her to. And, I thought Kate Martin, she's been doing a really good job for us as well. And, Kate was, again, she's not like putting up these spectacular numbers. She has 7 points, but she's 3 for 5, 1 for 2 from three-point range. And she's just doing things right. She has 2 steals in this game, playing strong, taking smart shots, not trying to force things. And like you said, Megan Meyer coming in, doing the same thing with 20 minutes. Lauren Jensen is 1 for 1 from the field. And so I really like to see those numbers where, they're not high volume shooters, but when they shoot them, they're making them. And I really enjoy that.
Yeah, and we've talked about Kate where it seems like she's looking for her offense a little more and has been very good at starts of games as well, and has to wear that mask for the next 5.5 weeks, and that can't be a whole lot of fun.
No, it really can't be. Playing with that mask, I'm sure it's hot. I'm sure it takes away a little bit of your vision, but she never complains. She has not complained once about it. And so I'm, just so proud of her. But, I also like the 23 assists we had on this game and only 12 turnovers. I thought, that was really great to see. Like you said, Caitlin leads us with 5 assists, but Megan Meyer has 4 assists. McKenna Warnock has 4 assists. Kate Martin has 4 assists. So kind of a lot of people getting in the mix on that.
At halftime, any different message, Coach, to get this team really ready to go in the third quarter? They know that they just had to just keep shooting and keep playing good defense. But, boy, to put 30 points on the board in the third quarter against a quality opponent and shoot the ball so well, not sure if you're expecting it, but certainly hopeful that the Hawks would come out the way they did.
Oh, absolutely. It really started with our defense. We got some stops, right? We got some good stops, led to some good scores for us. Let us get our transition game going a little bit. But I think more than anything, we were down 10 and we get a stop and then we score a 3. Now it's a 7-point game. That feels totally different for some reason than a 10-point game when you're in that single margin. We get another stop, come back. Our 3-point shooting is really going well in the third quarter. We're 7 for 10 from 3-point range, 70%, outstanding number there. So our threes were falling for us, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 you're right back into this game. We were back quickly in this game, and then just never stopped and never looked back.
Yeah, that's nice when you can be back in the game within just several minutes, and then, like you said, keep your foot on the gas and blow through. The Gophers, that resulted in a 92-79 win. And you even look, Coach, on the year, you're shooting over 50% from the floor, just under 40% from 3 for the entire season, and almost 80% from the free throw line. So really good numbers this late into the season.
You're right. I think that we are shooting the ball very well from all areas. I would like to see us continue. We're doing a good job on the boards the last few games, and I just need that to continue, because last year that wasn't very good for us, but the last couple of games, for example, the Minnesota game, we out-rebounded them by 7, and actually out-rebounded them by 12 and in the second half. But we got 32% of our offensive rebounds. That's good for us. We held them to 28% of their offensive rebounds. So I really like to see those kind of numbers on the rebounds. We need to keep that going in the right trend, because in the beginning of the year it wasn't going so well. And then obviously the defensive number, 79, letting up 79 points a game, way too many points per game. We got to do a better job on the defensive end.
Well, a lot to talk about. We'll take a look back at last week. Also, a Hawkeye honored again today by the Big Ten, and look ahead to the game on Wednesday against a very good Ohio State team. Hawkeye basketball is proudly sponsored by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield, Iowa's hometown health insurer for over 80 years. Wellmark reminds Hawkeye fans to stay healthy, stay in the game by wearing a mask, washing your hands, and getting a flu shot. We'll head to the phones when we come back. This is Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer. IRC Beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
It all started with a grilled cheese sandwich. 2 simple pieces of bread, some butter, and a slice of American cheese. But after making it day after day, week after week, I hungered for more. Colby, provolone, Gouda. But Gouda wasn't good enough. I wanted great. I added tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos. If I could birth this gooey work of art in my tiny, modest kitchen, imagine what I could do in a gourmet chef's kitchen. So I called U.S. Bank about loaning me some extra cheddar. Now I had the mad cheese skill and a superior grill. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline, day or night, for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Riverside Casino and Golf Resort loves a winner. You see it in every game, play-by-play, everywhere you turn. Whether it's hitting the tables, spending time at your favorite game, or just relaxing, enjoying everything that Riverside Casino has to offer, you can bet we have something for everyone. So make every gameplay count. Your best bet is Riverside Casino and Golf Resort, located just 12 miles south of Iowa City on Highway 218. Let the games begin.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. I'm Rob Brooks, and before the break, we told you that a Hawkeye was honored by the Big Ten, and yes, Caitlin Clark, Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Of course, we talked about her career-high 37, her third double-double of the year against Minnesota, and averaged 22.5 points in 2 games last week, 6.5 rebounds, and is racking up the freshman of the week honors, Coach, which I'm sure is okay with you.
Absolutely. And, we have a couple of good freshmen in this league. In fact, we were talking in the office this week that out of the top 10 players in America, 3 of them are in the Big Ten Conference, okay? Ranked number 2,
I'm sure is okay with you.
Unfortunately, injured. Absolutely. Went to Maryland, played in the first couple of games, injured. Number 4, obviously, Caitlin. And then number 6, we've already seen playing for Rutgers this year. So that's pretty neat, though, that 3 of the top 6 players in America playing at Big Ten universities. And Caitlin obviously doing such a great job with our basketball team. It's almost, in my mind, a shoe-in almost every week that she should be player of the week for our freshman of the week.
Yeah, we'll take it every single week, no doubt about that. Let's head to the phones as Karen joins us from North Liberty. How are you this evening?
I'm fine, guys.
Good.
Anyway, congratulations to Caitlin for what seems to be her weekly honor. But we will
it makes Monday nights fun, right?
Yep, that's right. We will just flush the Northwestern game down the drain and get them when they come here. Sometimes things just don't go the way you want them to go. But anyway, on Wednesday when you play the Buckeyes, you can show the world what you really can do. Now, I have 2 questions. Number 1. With this pandemic, do you use the gray squad like you used to? And number 2, how bothersome are those masks that you're wearing when you're trying to bark out orders to the team that's playing and running down the floor? And good luck against the Buckeyes and the rest of the teams, and go Hawks.
Well, thanks, Karen. I appreciate your call, and, good questions. Okay, gray squad. We still do have a gray squad, but it's limited in numbers. We have 5 members. We've usually had a few more than that, but we limited it to 5 this year. So we had to make sure these 5 guys, and they're tremendous, would be really committed to making sure they came, even right now during the break, committing to staying here in Iowa City and really helping us out. So we have a tremendous group of gray squad. They are testing every single day. So they are going through that protocol as well so that we know they're safe. And they play in masks. Our managers do as well. Our managers, even though they test every day, and our coaches, even though we test every day, we still coach in masks. Now, I will tell you, it is not the easiest thing. And so you'll see I'm not the best sometimes, and it ends up around my chin. And it's really just by accident, like you pull it down to yell because you're used to being able to yell, right? When something's stopping you from communicating, you eliminate that object. And so I try to grab it and put it back up right away. But I do feel comfortable because I am being tested every day. And I still want to be a good example and wear my mask, but I know that everybody in that area that I'm with in my team, but if we're in team meetings, we all wear our masks, even though we are being tested daily.
It's kind of a nice comfort level, though, too, isn't it, Coach, to know every single day, hey, you've got a negative test. So even being in close proximity with players, coaches, it still gives you a good feeling that, hey, everybody's on the same page and tested negative.
It really does. And we test first thing in the morning, so we know before we go see with our team, before they enter the practice court area, before we go down there and start shooting with them, that they have all been tested negative.
As far as masks, too, is you kind of forget about it, like during the heat of the game, where maybe you do pull it down to say something and you forget to pull it up. Oh, gosh, I got to pull that up again, because that's pretty easy to do.
That's what happens is you pull it down because you want to communicate, even though you should try to communicate with the mask on. I understand that. But then I forget to kind of pull it back up again. So that's exactly what happens. But whenever I'm talking to an official, I really do. I think I'm pretty good at remembering to make sure it's up, even though they're wearing masks, we're wearing masks, they're being tested every day just like us. I just think the Big Ten is doing this, pretty well for the most part.
Yeah, I think things have gone pretty well. It's not going to be 100% as we have already seen, but it seems like for the most part, things have been on a week-to-week basis pretty steady.
It has been, and I think that the players are doing a really good job of being in their pod, their little mini bubble of just them. Right now, I shouldn't say regular students, the other students that are not student athletes are not on campus. That helps a little bit, especially in the dorms. But we are really not doing anything besides family and team. I mean, that's really what we're doing, and that's it.
And the players have to really be committed too, don't they, to make sure you stay with your roommates and you're not out amongst other people in the public. And that's a hard thing to do for all of us, but especially young college students.
Well, yeah, and especially when you're in the dorms and there's nobody else hardly in the dorms right now. It's kind of lonely in there, and I just think that it's a hard thing for anybody to do, but especially for that age group, it's a very difficult thing to do. Now, most of them that are not in the dorms are living in one apartment building where they're all kind of in that same, not the apartment, there's only like two of them in every apartment, but they're in the same building so they can kind of see each other and get together for meals and such. I know they really like to cook together and have those meals together.
Yep, have a good time as best you can away from the basketball court. Back to the phones. Anthony checking in from Des Moines. Anthony, how are you this evening?
Well, pretty good, Rob. Coach,
good.
How you doing this evening?
Really good. Thanks, Anthony.
Coach, finally I got to see you guys on TV over the weekend, but not the way I wanted to see. I'm sorry for the loss against Northwestern. 2, congratulations on Caitlin Clark for her Big Ten Honor of the Week. And the question is I have for you there, Coach. With that loss, I'm just trying to know what type of players do they need to better themselves against Ohio State this coming Wednesday? I'm not sure that's an afternoon or a night game, but what type of improvements do they need to do better themselves on Wednesday against Ohio State? And I'll hang up, listen, and go Hawks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Anthony. Game time, Rob, do you have that?
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock game time, okay. And that is on the Big Ten Network, and that's why it's at 3 o'clock. So our next 4 games will be on the Big Ten Network. So this Wednesday against Ohio State at 3 o'clock, and then we play Monday against Purdue, and then we're playing Thursday at Maryland, and then Sunday at Rutgers. So next week's a tough week. 3 games in a week in our longest road trip. So we plan to go out to Maryland and not come back. We're going to stay out there and travel the 3-hour bus ride over to Rutgers, stay there and play that game. So it will be a very challenging week, but we're not in school yet. We think it's fiscally responsible for us to stay out there instead of returning back and going back, because that trip is very, very expensive. But the things that we need to improve on are definitely, defense and limiting our turnovers. Those are the 2 areas that we're really trying to focus on and get better at.
Coach, in the Northwestern game, too, they do some different things defensively. I know they seem to run another player at Caitlin, even when she was 25 feet away from the basket, and did it well. And did that just kind of disrupt the offensive flow a little bit, especially early on?
I think they were very physical with Caitlin. I think that they did a good job of identifying her and knowing where she was at all times within their zone. I think they did a good job of pushing her out, like making her catch, instead of 20 feet away from the hoop where she usually likes to catch, really kind of forcing her out to like 28, 29 feet away from the hoop. A little bit harder to make passes, a little harder to run our offense. And I think that our whole team started to do that, play too far away from the basket. Monica obviously had such a great game, 13 for 14 from the field, 93% shooting, had her career high, 28 points, had 12 rebounds in this game, 3 offensive rebounds. Just had such a good game. We needed to go to her more, and we didn't. She was the person that was scoring for us. And so, in my mind, let's keep going to her until they stop her. And they had not figured out a way to stop her. So, unfortunately, we were trading, their 3s for our 2s for a little bit, and we can't afford to have that. And unfortunately, they went to the free throw line 24 times to our 8 times, which is really unusual for us to only go to the rim or go to the free throw line 8 times in a game. That's highly unusual. It's usually, for us, we're around that, 16, 15 mark. So, we couldn't take advantage by scoring at the free throw line like we typically do.
Yeah, Monica, just that one shot she missed was on a rebound putback, and looked like there might have been some contact there, but within the flow of the offense, every time she got the ball, made every single one of them.
Yeah, she did. And, McKenna was a little bit off shooting-wise this game. She was 1 for 5, 0 for 3 from three-point range. But she was 1 for 1 from the free throw line and had 17 rebounds in this game, 15 defensive rebounds. So that was, she found a way to contribute, and that's what you like to do. If you're off, you got to find another way to contribute, whether that's assists, rebounds, steals, something. And so I was really pleased that McKenna found another way to contribute. Yeah, that was really good to see. Plus had 5 assists. And you talk about the rebounding, and it seems like that phase of the game, you did make some strides here the last couple of nights. Yeah, we did. We out-rebounded Northwestern 38-30. We got 28% of our offensive rebounds and held them to 19% of their offensive rebounds. They were the number 1 offensive rebounding team coming into this. At one point, they were like 44% they were getting of their offensive rebounds. So we halved that number. So I'm very happy with that statistic. And I think they were really worried about our transition game. They did not want to get into a running game with us, so they were getting back in transition and allowed, really didn't give them many opportunities for O-boards. You had a very good second quarter, however. Got down after the first 10 minutes, 23-16, but then outscored Northwestern 20-13 in the second quarter. Brand new basketball game for the second half, so you had to feel pretty good at that point. Yeah, we're tied up at halftime. And then the third quarter, as good as Minnesota was the third quarter, we were just as bad this third quarter. We got outscored 26-14 in that third quarter. And then just could never get over the hump. Every time we would get close, they had an answer of some sort or another. And really different people stood up. Like, I thought we did a great job on Lindsey Pulliam. She was a preseason player of the year, one of the top 3 players of the year. She played 40 minutes and had 6 points, well below her average. But, boy, other people came in. Jordan Hamilton, who had been shooting 17% from three-point range, had only made, I think, 2 or 3 threes the whole year, was 3 for 7. on threes. Lauren Salderwhite was shooting 12% from three-point range. She was 1 for 1 against us. So some different people stood up and made shots that hadn't been making them all year. That's the game of basketball. You got to be ready for it. But statistically, they really outperformed themselves, those particular players.
Yeah, and they got off such a good start, too, and then third quarter as well, shot almost 70%. You figured, okay, the numbers will average out, and they'll hit a dry spell, kind of like Minnesota did, but to Northwestern's credit, shot the ball very well. But to your point, Coach, 40 minutes for Lindsey Pulliam, and not only 6 points, but only got 5 looks at the basket, which is really rare for her.
Absolutely. I thought Kate Martin did an excellent job, really did a great job of keeping the ball out of her hands and letting her really not be a factor for them. And then we were uncharacteristically low in our three-point shooting, 26%, 5 for 19. That is really, really low for us. The only person that really shot well from three-point range was Gabby Marshall, who was 3 for 5. Did a really good job there. Her effective field goal percentage was 79%. Megan was 50%. Sharon Goodman was 50%, but really not anybody else shooting extremely well, with the exception of, Monica and Gabby. And again, that's pretty unusual for us because we usually have so many good offensive weapons.
No doubt about that. And while the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series is on hold this season, Iowa's corn farmers will continue to stand by this unique series and everything it stands for, because here in Iowa we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Hawk Talk and Iowa women's basketball, also presented by Dodge Street Tire and Auto, locally owned and operated, has been voted best of the area for the 10th consecutive year and is a proud supporter of Iowa women's basketball. Visit us for all of your automotive needs, including the best deals on Goodyear and Toyo tires. Dodge Street Tire and Auto, celebrating over 25 good years in Iowa City. We invite your phone calls. Thanks to Karen and also Anthony for checking in already tonight. 1-877-464-2957. Of course, you can watch us, too, every Monday night on YouTube, youtube.com/Hawkeye Radio Network. And you can jump in the chat room on the video stream if you have a question, and we'll read it on the air and get Coach Bluder to answer, or also use the social media, #HawkTalk. And we'll be back with more Hawk Talk with Coach Bluder after the break.
Is your vehicle worn out from well winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series, with supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
The Iowa Lottery's new cash game is clearly different.
What? How?
Because you can see right through it.
How can you see through a ticket?
Well, it's clear.
What's clear? I don't understand.
I'm being as clear as I can, just like the new scratch ticket.
Okay, I'm still unclear. How much cash can you win?
$100,000 top prize on the ticket plus $200,000 in Play It Again prizes.
That's a lot of cash.
Clearly.
The new cash game from the Iowa Lottery. The difference is clear. Visit ialottery.com for rules and complete details.
Woohoo!
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life care.
Staying connected means games can still feel like this, even if they actually sound like this. That's why US Cellular is building a 5G network that works from outside to inside uninterrupted, so you can stay connected even if you aren't at the game. Right now, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. Check out uscellular.com for more info. US Cellular. Data may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Video streams at up to 480p DVD quality. Credit approval and autopay paperless billing required. Additional terms apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk, Iowa and Ohio State from Carver Hawkeye Arena on Wednesday. A late afternoon tip at 3 o'clock. So look forward to that, and we'll talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes coming up. Coach, I wanted to ask you a question about players that get hot that don't typically shoot the ball very well. What do you kind of do with them? Say somebody hits 2 or 3 threes in the first quarter and is a 21% three-point shooter. You change your defense, let them fire away and hope that the numbers will just bear out at the end of 40 minutes, or change defenses and say, hey, we're going to try to shut you down. It's always a tough thing because obviously somebody else can get hot too.
Yeah, and I think what you have to do is go with statistics going into a game. I mean, especially this, we're 10 games into this now. Most statistics are enough of a sample that you're going to have some reliable statistics, not like, your first 3 games of the year or so. But now, I think you have to go with statistics. And then if somebody shows you something that they haven't done so far, maybe it's their night. You got to make adjustments and hope that, you got to give them a little more respect, but I think they have to earn it before you're going to give it to them. If somebody's shooting 12% from three-point range, I'm not going to get out there in their drill and I'm going to provide help off of them and go with statistics and hopefully they will shoot it. That's what you're kind of hoping for, is that those people will shoot the ball. But when they do and it goes in, that's when it's a little bit frustrating for your players. They kind of look at you like, hey, coach, I thought you said she couldn't shoot, But you got to remind them, even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, at that point, if they do that and they keep shooting them, you're going to have to get out there and change your strategy.
Yeah, because if you do that, then maybe a Lindsay Pulliam, in the case of Northwestern, well, all of a sudden now instead of 6 looks, she gets 15, and that might not be a good thing either.
Yeah, exactly. You have to pick and choose, where you want to. And, we were playing a triangle and 2 defense on Pulliam and Hamilton, and it's going to leave people. You always identify your third best shooter, and we said that Hamilton was going to be the third best shooter, and she was still able to get free a little bit. So that's unfortunate, but again, somebody beat us that hadn't really done it, those things before, hadn't really been the person that had stepped up and done it before, and that happens sometimes.
Might happen in a game or 2, but that's why you play 20 across a conference schedule, right?
And I mean, you have to go with statistics. I really just believe that, everybody doesn't deserve the same kind of defensive attention. Some people require more defensive attention. And, I just think it's silly not to look at statistics and try to adjust your game plan based on that.
And that is where the analytics part of the game can come into play as well?
Yeah, and I think the analytics, definitely is statistics that you get. But, the analytics of, somebody plays better against zone or plays worse against zone. Or this team, doesn't handle the pick and roll very well, so you want to incorporate a few more of that in your offense. Or, this particular post player always goes over her left shoulder. You can jump on that side a little bit. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use the analytics in the game and really, try to impact the game a little bit.
With what Caitlin has done so far this year? Do you expect different defenses more tuned to stopping her?
Absolutely. I mean, she's got to be a focal point when she's, leading our team, and scoring at 26 points a game and shooting the ball, 46% from the field. She has 60 more shots than anybody else on our team. When she's putting up those kind of numbers, that requires some extra emphasis on defense. So, yeah, I expect her to see all kinds of defensive effort. Obviously, they're going to put their best defensive player they have on her, but also they're going to help off of her. They're going to, that person's not going to help. They're going to provide extra help because one person probably can't do that job. So they're going to, she's going to see a lot of different things coming at her in the future.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Get used to it, right? Brings you back to Megan Gustafson and all the different defensive looks that she went throughout her career. And I'm sure Monica's seeing the same thing the last couple of years as well.
Yes, absolutely.
To that point, Karen on Twitter wanted to follow up and ask about, you have an analyst on staff, somebody that's kind of their job is to handle that aspect of a scouting report, or is it just the assistant that's putting together that particular scout?
It's actually Ryan Grubel, who is our videographer, really is interested in this. And so he's probably the most, spends the most time on it and gives us the most information. Like the synergy statistics or, like how fast of a pace they play at, how many pick and rolls they do, how often they hit the roll person versus the ball handler keeping the ball, how much do they score in transition, how much do their points come from offensive rebounds. So he really dives into that, and it's good. He gives us all that information so that we have that information. So it's very, very helpful.
Are there a lot of services out there that relate to analytics?
I'm not sure if there's a lot of services. We do use Synergy Stats, but I'm not sure if there's more out there. There probably is, but that's the one that we use.
Because I'm sure it could be overload, so it's nice to have somebody like Ryan to maybe filter some of it and know what you want to see and what maybe you don't.
That's what we do is we sit down with Ryan really during the summer and say, okay, these are the things that we really want to focus on. Because otherwise, that's way too much information. But there are certain elements that we really want him to make sure that he pulls out of that report and gives to us. It even ranks everybody's defensive efforts. So, going into a game, who's the weakest defensive player, so you can maybe isolate them, or who's a bad post defensive player, you can isolate that person, or who doesn't handle ball screens well. So you can set ball screens on that individual. So there's definitely some things that we can use, and we tell him the things that we want, and then, but we don't want everything because you're right, it would be overwhelming.
Obviously, analytics for the opponent. How about analytics for your team?
We do look at those. I don't look at them all the time, but I just got a report that Ryan put together on our last 5 games. And so it was basically what our players have been doing in the last 5 games. And, none of them seem to want to know their defensive numbers, ironically. But we have those, and we definitely, know areas that we need to improve on. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out some areas that we need to improve on there either.
Probably just a little confirmation with things that are going really well or things you certainly want to improve upon before Wednesday against Ohio State. Looking to downsize from your family home? The new Oak Knoll East Campus is now open and offers many unique amenities for your active lifestyle. Call 319-351-1720 or visit oakknoll.com to set up your personal tour. Oak Knoll is a proud supporter of the Iowa Hawkeyes. We'll be back with more with Coach Bluder after the break.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Whether it's a commercial, residential, healthcare, or industrial project, Carpenters Union Local 1260 provides a professional and productive workforce, on time and on budget. And Union Carpenters also have specialized COVID prevention training to allow for the safest environment possible. Since 1902, Carpenters Union Local 1260 has been building the University of Iowa, and that relationship continues today as a proud partner of Hawkeye Athletics. To find a union contractor and union carpenters for your next job, visit carpentersunionlocal1260.com or call 319-338-1638.
Expert care for sports injuries means getting back in the game sooner and stronger. I'm Dr. Brian Wolf, Director at University of Iowa Sports Medicine and Team Physician for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You should never play through pain. That's why our sports medicine experts are here for you with same day, next day, and evening appointments. For imaging, therapy, or surgery, choose the team the Iowa Hawkeyes choose. Schedule a visit at uihc.org/sportsmedicine.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life care.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder. I'm Rob Brooks, and of course tonight we'll talk about Ohio State, the opponent on Wednesday, and we'll be on the air Wednesday afternoon at 2:45 for the 3 o'clock tip. Of course, Iowa played on Saturday night, and a full slate of games on Sunday. Yesterday, Maryland defeated Purdue 83-46. Michigan, 15th in the country, over Illinois by 20, 70-50. Indiana also in the top 20. That's a theme in the Big Ten Conference this year. 74-49 over Wisconsin. And then Nebraska upsets Michigan State. Mild upset there. Michigan State, 23rd in the country. Cornhuskers win at 68-64. And Penn State over Minnesota, 69-60. And Rutgers and Ohio State postponed Iowa's opponent Wednesday. Coach, of course, the Ohio State game was supposed to, the first one in Columbus got postponed. One, any update on if that is going to be able to be played? And then number two, just communications with the Big Ten and other schools, if possibly there is a COVID issue with an opponent. What type of, not necessarily what type of information you get, but how far in advance do they start letting you know, hey, we might have an issue, just to kind of prepare you?
You know, I think it's different with every coach. You know, some coaches are better about contacting you directly and asking you things or letting you know things. We did not hear from Ohio State until it was pretty late. I mean, it was, I think we were supposed to leave on Wednesday. We heard on Tuesday that they were not going to have the game. It was just a couple days. I don't remember the exact days, but it was just a few days ahead of time that they were going to be shut down with COVID. So they shut down. They missed some games. They have come back, though. They've played 2 Big Ten games. They beat Penn State at home, and they beat Illinois at Illinois. And so the shutdown for them missing the Rutgers game was Rutgers' situation, not Ohio State's situation. So we fully expect Ohio State to come to Carver and play. Now, the last 2 games that they played, they did play without one of their very best players, though. In Dorka, who is a first-team All-Big Ten preseason player, 6'4" power forward, leading scorer, second leading scorer on their team at 18 points a game, takes the most shots of anybody on the team, shoots over 50% from the field. She is a really, a nightmare to defend, and has that international style to her game, obviously. And she has not played the last 2 games, so who knows if she'll be playing. We're preparing as if she would be playing against us, because I think it's easier to go the other way than not.
Style of play pretty much the same for Ohio State this year as we saw a season ago. And is this maybe the most talented, best team that you will have faced so far this year?
I think it is the best team that we'll have faced. They're ranked 15th. They're 6-0. Now, I would say that their competition level maybe hasn't been as high as ours. They're non-conference. They're 4 games in the non-conference. Remember, in addition to Western Illinois, we played Iowa State, Drake, and UNI. I think 4, at least 3 of those 4 are pretty good teams. They played Duquesne, Kent State, Northern Kentucky, and Miami of Ohio, all 4 of them on their home court. They never went on the road yet. They've only played 1 road game. They're, like I said, they're 6-0, 2-0 in the Big Ten. And so, I guess we don't know what they're going to do on the road too much as of yet. So I think we've played a better schedule. We've obviously had more games. We've played 10. They've played 6. But it is a very good team. They're ranked 15th in the country for a reason. They're so balanced. They have so many weapons. In addition to Dorka, who we've already talked about, I think J.C. Sheldon, their off guard, is their leading scorer at 18 points a game, is, again, an all Big Ten performer. Shoots almost 40% from three-point range, takes 5.5 of those per game. Just a long-range shooter. And then they are very versatile inside. Inside, they have a 6'3" junior that's been a starter since her freshman year, Aaliyah Patty from the Chicagoland area, who will shoot threes. I mean, again, we don't match up with this team well because they don't have that true back-to-your-basket post. They have played 5 people on the perimeter. And so it's always a little bit of a tougher matchup for us because, Monica is not as comfortable 20 feet away from the basket as she is right around the hoop. They have a good point guard in Madison Green. They have I think a 6th-year senior in Braxton Miller. For sure, she's been a 5-year senior, with a lot of experience, a transfer from Oklahoma State. So, 5 players that are very, very good. And then they have a good bench, too. They have people coming off the bench that can really contribute. So, this is a deep Ohio State team.
Is it a fast team, a team that will want to get out in transition?
They will get out in transition. They're a team that plays predominantly player-to-player defense. 90% of the time they play player-to-player. They'll three-quarters court press a little bit, but not a lot. But, they'll hurt you with their length. They're, 6'4", 6'3" inside, 5'11" at the small forward. But even like 6'2" coming off the bench, 6'4" coming off the bench. So they just got a lot of height. And when you drive in those driving lanes, there's a lot of long arms coming at you. They do a good job with help side defense. So I really think, we have to look at that drive and pitch and hitting the people behind us, not the people in front of us sometimes.
And with the schedule quirk, obviously last week was really busy, and I'm sure the players got a day off. And then you've got the rest of the week and don't have to play after Wednesday till the following Monday. But then, as you mentioned, that's 3 games in a week. So it's just kind of a quirk in the schedule here in the middle of the month.
It is a quirk, and we actually asked Ohio State if they would be willing to stay and play us in back-to-back games since we missed the game at their place because they were down with COVID. We proposed, hey, you're here. And they had a break, too. We play Monday. And they play Sunday, which, playing Thursday and then Sunday is really typical, kind of what you normally do. So we thought it was kind of an ideal, situation. Obviously, we'd get the advantage that we were playing 2 home games. but it would make up for that game that we lost for them at their place. But no response to that request, and so we're just going to play them the one time at home, I guess, this season and live with that. And let's get them on our home court.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And Coach, I tell you, you've done everything possible to try to get all these games in, haven't you? Going back to when that first game was canceled, it was basically, hey, we'll play you anytime, anywhere.
Oh, absolutely. And this we thought was an ideal situation for us to play that again, since they don't play till Sunday and we don't play till Monday. But, even when we lost, when we lost their game originally that weekend that became free, we tried to find all kinds of non-conference people that were within drivable distance that we could play. But either they were struck down by COVID or they already had something, planned. And so that didn't work out.
Yeah, effort for sure. Hawkeye basketball and the Lisa Bluder call-in show tonight is brought to you by Iowa's Corn Farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Thank you for supporting local farmers. It's no secret last year was a tough year for everybody, but your support has not gone unnoticed. Every time you've chosen to fuel up with cleaner burning fuels like E15 or unleaded 88, you make a difference for a corn farmer. May seem like a simple gesture, but it makes a huge difference to our state and shows that we are all stronger together. We'll be back with our remaining moments with Coach Bluder after this.
Share common traits: integrity, reliability, hard work, and innovation. Your Better Business Bureau knows championship companies. We conduct background checks and listen to consumers around Iowa and Illinois, so we know the true character of these companies. Let the BBB match you with a championship company when you're hiring a contractor, using a business, or need a service. The Better Business Bureau is an Iowa nonprofit serving our neighbors for over 80 years. BBB help and information is free. You'll find us at bbb.org/Iowa.
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination.
College basketball is back on SiriusXM. On Big Ten Radio, there's live coverage for every college basketball team in the conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along online or on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now, as a college student, you can stream your first 3 months of SiriusXM for $1. Fees and taxes apply. See other details and subscribe now at SiriusXM.com/Big Ten Basketball.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
Experience the benefit of Blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of Blue. Wellmark Blue dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC insurance companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Hawkeye basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a Hawkeye game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Coach, we just got about 40 seconds, but Brandon on Facebook wants to know if Caitlin reminds you of any recent players, great players that you've seen either in the Big Ten or across the country.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not very good at comparisons. I just know that I'm really thankful that I get to coach her, and I think she has the potential to be one of the greatest Hawkeyes ever, and certainly one of the best players in America before it's all over with. So I'm thrilled that she's a Hawk.
Yes, well, we all are, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday night. That's Coach Lisa Bluder on Hawk Talk. Thanks so much for listening. Gary Dolphin, Bob Hansen, and we'll be next with Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. I'm Rob Brooks. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday afternoon, Iowa and Ohio State.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this has been Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluder, brought to you by Oak Knoll, an active life care community, also brought to you by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Hy-Vee, save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. Governor's Traffic and Safety Bureau by the Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau, who reminds you to click it or ticket day or night. And by U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Hawkeye Sports Network. On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville, featuring an extensive menu of steak, seafood, and sandwiches, along with a full bar and wine selections. Also brought to you in part by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. Hy-Vee, save time and shop online with Hy-Vee Aisles Online. Go to HyVeeAislesOnline.com. U.S. Bank, helping individuals and businesses work toward their financial goals. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. U.S. Cellular is proud to support Hawkeye Athletics. U.S. Cellular, choose fair. Now, here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Good Monday night, everybody. Hawkeye basketball has roared into the new year with 4 consecutive wins, including yesterday's 86-71 victory over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The Hawks have now won 22 of their last 23 games inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. And the good news is 3 of the next 4 are in the friendly confines, starting with the Michigan State Spartans Thursday night. Good evening. Welcome in. It's Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, who will be joining us shortly. I'm Gary Dolphin alongside former Hawkeye and NBA star Bobby Hansen. We're in the TV studio here at Kinnick Stadium, and Coach will be in his office over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. We're social distancing, and you're welcome to join us if you'd like to ask Coach a question or a comment about yesterday's victory or a great start to the Big Ten season. Iowa's sitting there now at 5 victories and 1 defeat, just a half a game out of first. Michigan is undefeated at 5-0, but Michigan plays host to the Wisconsin Badgers tomorrow night up in Ann Arbor, so anything can happen there. The Badgers are chasing the Hawks right on Iowa's tail at 4-1. So we're starting to see some separation among the top 4 or 5 teams with the rest of the league. Not much, but some. And Bobby Hansen, good to see you, buddy boy. I haven't seen you in, 24 hours?
Yeah, absolutely. A good 24 hours. The sun was shining today. That was a good thing.
That was great. Your observations on the first couple weeks of the season, and I've said it everywhere I've gone this weekend and this past week, those 2 road wins at Rutgers and at Maryland are really going to be a boost, I feel, for the Hawks at the end of the year.
Absolutely. Anytime you win on the road, Gary, let alone sweep the East Coast as you did right there. And that's a lot of travel. I mean, that's back and forth, back and forth. The kids did it. I know the Lisa Bluder and her team, they're going to stay out there. Not quite as many days in between as we had. But, again, that's just staying committed, as the Hawkeyes have. And they came away with the 2 wins. And not easy. And Rutgers, they had a tough one the other afternoon. I think it was Saturday afternoon. Watch that game. They went down. But the Hawkeyes, to knock them off there and to do it the way they did it, I know it got off to a tough start at Maryland, excuse me, and then a couple timeouts called by Coach McCaffrey and really got them going. They got behind 6-0 there, and then the Hawks got it going and got contribution from the bench, which I think is going to be huge this year. And then the starters got going. Jordan Bohannon. The Hawkeyes, Gary, to me, the Hawkeyes are a different team when Jordan Bohannon is knocking down those long-range shots like he does.
You speak of the co-player of the week in the Big Ten Conference this week. Jordan Bohannon sharing the honor with the outstanding Trace Jackson Davis from the University of Indiana. J-Bo averaged 18.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 8 assists in wins over the Terrapins. And then Minnesota ranked number 16 or 17. And the Hawks improved to 11-2 on the year, 5-1 in the conference. Bohannon shot 11 of 18 from the field, including 10 of 16 from three-point range. And he has been on a tear, not only shooting the basketball, but running the ball club. It dawned on me yesterday, and it should have dawned on me the game before at Maryland, is those hips look like they're in much better shape. He's getting up and down the floor, bobbing and weaving from sideline to sideline, and running the offense like the Jordan Bohannon of old.
Yeah, he's outstanding guard play by Jordan Bohannon. And to me, when I heard that news, I was really, really happy for Jordan to get that award. Didn't realize that was the first time that he had ever been awarded outside of a freshman player of the week. But in my mind, he's been player of the week 8 or 9 times.
That shocked me. I mean, that stunned me. I mean, he's so good, but he's so good across the board. We know he's a scorer. He's probably pigeonholed erroneously in that, okay, he's a great scorer, and that's it. Well, you know what? He had, do you have 7 rebounds yesterday?
Important when you're in a zone, Gary. Everybody's got a rebound.
He's such a smart basketball player. So congratulations to Jordan Bohannon. And while we're at it, Caitlin Clark, I think she's played 6 weeks in an Iowa basketball uniform. And every one of those 6 weeks, she's been the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. They might want to rename that award in her honor. We'll give her a couple years before they do that yet, but congratulations to Caitlin, too. The standings then: Michigan 5-0, Iowa 5-1, Wisconsin 4-1, Illinois 5-2. Illinois shocked at home last night. I guess we shouldn't be shocked by anything in this league this year. Maryland went into Illinois and knocked off the Illini last night down in Champaign-Urbana, so Iowa's RPI got a boost there. Then you have a logjam of 3-3 teams: Ohio State, Indiana, Purdue, and Northwestern, all at 3-3. Of course, Purdue, that huge victory, that last-second win at Michigan State last Thursday. Minnesota drops to 3-4, as is Rutgers. Michigan State, who comes in Thursday, is 2-4. It might be the best 2-4 team in America. And Maryland at 2-5. Penn State and Nebraska are winless. So you've got 12 of the 14 teams not jammed up. I mean, the first 3 or 4 have kind of separated, and it's way too early to start predicting who's going to win the conference championship and who's going to finish runner-up and who the top seeds are, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it's still fun to look at, though,
It
as a
is.
fan, and keeps you excited, keeps you going. And the new top 25 came out there. I think I counted 6 in the top 25, plus 4 others, Rutgers, Michigan State, Northwestern, Indiana, receiving votes. So 10 total teams probably in the top 30 in the country.
Our presenting sponsor for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey is 1201 Kitchen and Tap, located out in Coralville. We'll certainly welcome you back to 1201 Kitchen and Tap next season. Of course, we're following the COVID protocols this year, and rightfully so, but Coach McCaffrey loves coming out to 1201 Kitchen and Tap and hosting the show each and every Monday night. Bobby and I love being there. Great food, great chow, icy cold beverages, very comfortable lobby, a restaurant, and such a friendly wait staff. The bartenders are outstanding, so we'll look forward to being out there again next year.
Yeah, we miss being out there with everybody, all our friends that we'd see every Monday night out there, but with a terrific location there. The 1201 Kitchen and Tap, I'm sure they're open for food, curbside delivery.
Absolutely.
Come on in and get some, but I know I kind of miss taking some food home, too.
Well, you can still get takeout on your way by. You drive right by there. Come on. But Governor Reynolds, of course, relaxing the restrictions a little bit last week for bars and restaurants and other social gathering spots, and it was great to see her loosen up the strings for attendance at high school basketball games. And we'll talk about that some other time. Let's welcome in Hawkeye basketball coach Fran McCaffrey right now. The Hawks, by the way, we haven't gotten to it yet, Fran, but ranked 5th this week. So first off, the big picture, congratulations, 4 straight wins, 5-1 in the Big Ten. About as good as you would have expected at this point, Fran, given the competition you're playing.
Yeah, I was really pleased. It was a very frustrating loss at Minnesota. Both teams did a lot of good things. I mean, they shot it really well. Felt like we had the game and then didn't win it. And those things happen throughout the course of a season. What you have to do is respond the right way, and that's what we've done. Our defense was way better. Our ability to utilize different lineups has been very effective, because every game's different. Every team is different. Every game presents different challenges. That's the beauty of this league, and that's what makes it so difficult. So, I think when you look at your ability to look at the whole season and how you respond, if you play well, you don't get too complacent. If you don't play well, do you correct the things that created problems in that game? And then ultimately, do you continue to get better individually and collectively? And I think we've done that.
And, Coach, where has that 2-3 zone improved from Minnesota on Christmas night to yesterday?
Yeah, when you're playing a team that is going to set a lot of ball screens against the zone and run man stuff against the zone, that's what they did yesterday. We were just reacting to ball screens, overloads, penetration. Occasionally you're not going to get out to the corner. Occasionally a guy's going to turn the corner. It's not like you can prepare for every possible scenario, especially when you're playing a talented team, that's running different actions. So they're not running the same thing every time down, and they're calling sets. And like I said, you can walk through their zone sets, but a lot of times teams will run their man sets against your zone, which is what they did yesterday. At times they did both, which is what we figured. So it really comes down to your ability to be connected and to react to the action that's coming and see it coming before it happens. And if not be right in the guy's space, at least be close enough to contest. And then I think what today was we rebounded out of it. We rebounded really well. I thought Jack Nungy in particular. You can play zone and you can get teams to miss, but a lot of coaches don't like zone because you don't have distinct blockout responsibilities and guys flying in and keep it alive and so they shoot a 3 and then they tip it out, shoot another 3, and ultimately you're susceptible to attempting a lot of 3s. A lot of coaches don't want that. They want to chase you off the line and get you inside that line and make you make tough 2s. So, you got to make a decision throughout the course of the game. Who are we playing? What do we think our strengths are defensively? What do we think their strengths are offensively? And ultimately what we end up doing, as you both well know, is we end up changing defenses and play both.
And Coach, Jordan Bohannon, Player of the Week, I mean, he did everything for you yesterday. And as Gary and I were talking about earlier, it surprised us both that he had not been the Big Ten Player of the Week up to this point, other than his Freshman of the Week.
Yeah, you know, guys, there's a lot of guys that play really well in this league. I don't think too much about that. All I can tell you is, it's easy to look at the points and assists. I mean, the way he pushed it on the break was nothing short of spectacular. But the thing that really impressed me, I just got done talking about it. You got to rebound out of the zone. Mm-hmm. And what that means is the guards have to rebound. You got to box out big guys. You got to get long rebounds. You got to chase down loose balls. So while he was getting 19 points with 14 assists and no turns, he was getting 7 rebounds out of the point guard position. So really, really impressive performance. But he's had a number of them in a row now. Really proud of him.
He has. A big reason why the Hawks out-rebounded Minnesota by 5, Coach. And I want to just back up a little bit to Maryland. In the first half, a 22-0 run against Maryland on the road. Yesterday, a 22-4 run in the second half. Your bench provided a huge spark at Maryland. Yesterday, it was the old grizzled veterans. We've talked about Jordan. Luka Garza threw in 33. Joe Wieskamp joined the 1,000-point club. What a luxury to have. You mentioned Jack Nungy, 10 rebounds yesterday. What a luxury to have that kind of depth, Fran, both young and old, cooperating and providing and all on the same page this early in the season. It bodes well for the next 2 months.
Well, it makes it hard to prepare for because, you look at the Maryland game and really the bulk of everything in that run you were talking about was, when Keegan and Patrick and Jack and those guys were on the floor, Joe T, mm-hmm. And then, J-Bo and Connor were in the mix with Luka. And it wasn't as much Joe Wieskamp and CJ. And then you turn around, I thought CJ yesterday, people forget about him because he didn't shoot it as much, didn't have as many points, but defensively, especially on Carr, he was really good when we were playing man-to-man, really good because Carr only had 13. He had 30 last time. He's averaging like 25. So you keep him under his average, you give your team a chance to play. But, you knew Wieskamp was going to bounce back. I mean, when he was out, that team clicked. And I told the guys, I said, look, if I got a team that's on a 20-0 run, I'm not subbing. And you shouldn't expect me to sub, and they didn't. They supported the guys that were on the floor. And then yesterday it was Weezy and J-Bo and Luka with CJ D'ing up. Patrick came off the bench, got a couple hoops. Connor had some great feeds, hit a big 3 in that one stretch. But Keegan got a couple of tough calls, which really limited his minutes. I wanted to play him more. I thought the one steal was a tough call on him, which was his 3rd foul. But seeing Jack really dominate the defensive glass in that one stretch was absolutely critical. And a big jumper by him. They made that run. We moved it. He had a little jumper on the baseline. Great to see him making that shot. So we got a lot of ways we can come at you with different personnel, and it just makes it so much harder for the other team when they're not focusing on 1 or 2 guys.
For sure. Joe Wieskamp, 7 of 9 from the field, and he made all 3 of his 3-point looks and added 6 rebounds to go with his 20 points. Really happy for Joe. Fran, he's got one of the prettiest jump shots around, doesn't he? He really elevates a great rainbow look to it.
He does, but I thought his energy level and his physicality at both ends, on the glass, defensively, in transition, moving without the ball, finishing through contact, and then mixing up his 3, his pull-up, and his drives. When he's doing all those things, you have the kind of performance he had yesterday, 20 points, 6 rebounds. I think he played 35, 36 minutes in that game, and he earned them all. And it started the day before at practice. And I said this yesterday when I was talking to you guys after the game. He set the tone for how he was going to play and how our team was going to play on Saturday.
Fran, Jordan Bohannon is now number 3 all-time in career assists at Iowa with over 560. He trails only Andre Woolridge and Jeff Horner. I mean, that speaks for itself. And then he is now tied for 6th all-time in Big Ten career three-point makes with Craig Moore of Northwestern, Corey Bradford, Sean Respert, Pete Lisicki are the immediate names ahead of him. He's elevated his game in a lot of ways, but he still is known as the great shooter and assist man. And the thing that dawned on me yesterday in watching that game, especially in the second half, Minnesota made that run, and then Garza, I think, had 3 consecutive baskets, and you talked about it, guys recognizing where to put the ball when they're going to Garza. If he's fronted, you throw it over the top. Garza is such a great pass catcher that you can throw an errant toss or a bad pass, at least in your terms, and Luke is still going to go get it. He's not going to let it go out of bounds. And it was very evident yesterday. He kept feeding that horse inside, and he really took it to the basket strong, and you were able to pull back away and get it under control.
Yeah, I mean, he'll catch everything you throw him, but it's a lot better when you kind of put it where Jordan did yesterday and where Connor did in the Maryland game. You feed it exactly where he wants it. And you got to have a feel for that. You got to know where he wants it based on how the defense is playing. You're also his eyes, because if they're doubling from the opposite side, he can't see behind him. So he knows when you throw him the ball where you're leading him to and what's available for him. And he's so quick at getting the ball in the basket. So, there's a fine art to this post feeding and ball movement. And I thought, what we did yesterday in particular was push it early and get him down there quickly. A lot of times before the double team could get there. A little more half-court oriented in the previous game, although we pushed it in that game as well, and really moved it. And you just got to reward the big fella when he's working that hard to get open.
And, Coach, a question. I really appreciated your comments to the media prior to this game where you said this isn't a revenge game. We had a 7-point lead, 45 seconds to go. We're not out for revenge. We just want to, get back out there and get after it again because we know we gave one away right there. I thought that was interesting that, most people think of, we got to go get them, we got to get revenge, but that wasn't a part of it.
No, there's got to be a focus and concentration side to playing a team at this level, especially in this league. I think that there's a great misconception with revenge and bulletin board material. I mean, that's a made-up media thing. No such thing as bulletin board material. There's no such thing as revenge. The reality is this. There's one way to play the game. You got to play as hard as you possibly can on every possession. You got to concentrate and execute the game plan to the best of your ability. The concept of, okay, I said this yesterday in the press conference. Okay, we're going to play really hard. But somebody made a comment that was in some way perceived to be insulting to the other team. So now we're all going to play really, 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 really hard. There's no difference, And if you start getting sideways with something that somebody says, I mean, you guys have been in enough Big Ten venues. What is said to those kids when they're on the bench? What is said to them when they're on the floor? What is said to them when they come in, when they go out? What's said to them by the people right behind the bench? I think anybody that's a competitor, anybody that's been in an arena understands and knows that that's what life is like. Some people would probably be mortified at what they heard. But it's just the reality of the situation. That's what competition is. People are going to be rooting for the other team. People are going to be trash talking you. People are going to be insulting you. Sometimes they find out personal things and come after you that way. And your ability to focus and concentrate and tune out the noise and execute what you need to execute and play through your own mistakes and make plays for yourself and for your teammates and play both ends of the floor and rebound your position regardless of what your position is. That's what the great ones do. You know, I never, you know, when I played, Bobby, I know when you, like, you know, some guy in the fifth row can scream his lungs out. I could care less. And somebody on the other team makes a comment on Tuesday for a game on Saturday, and who cares? The bottom line is you got to go do your job. And we've got a mature group of guys that go do their job.
Yeah, Coach, and before we take a break here, take us inside the huddle during a timeout. You called a timeout when I think Minnesota cut the lead down to 5, 68-63 after back-to-back three-pointers, one by Gotch and then the other one by the freshman Jamal Mashburn. Called the timeout, reassembled the troops, and what'd you tell the guys?
Real calm during that timeout. You know, we were up like 16 or 17. They cut it to 5. Nobody's happy about it. You don't want to scream and yell and finger point and blame. That's not going to accomplish anything. I thought in the previous 3 or 4 or 5 possessions, we got pretty good shots. It wasn't like we were putting our heads down, driving into packs of people and putting up shots that ultimately ended up fast breaks for the other team. I thought we moved it. We executed. We got good shots that didn't go in. We ran back. We got our defense set. I thought the one time we didn't make the way we should have, I pointed that out. We got to be better. And then we got to make sure we stay the course offensively and remain confident. We're in control of the game. We have the ball. We're up 5. Let's execute on offense, and let's get 3 consecutive stops. And the team was really relaxed and calm in that situation, and that was my hope. And we took it from 5 to 15.
Yeah, to use the Fran McCaffery line, we didn't panic. We don't panic. Yeah, this team does not panic, whether it's you're down by 10 or up by 15. All right, Coach, we'll take a break here. There's a variety of ways that you folks, wonderful Hawk fans in the listening audience and viewing on the live stream tonight, not only on HawkeyeSports.com and the web, but KCRG 9.2. We appreciate Channel 9.2. Bringing you video of the Hawkeyes as well as our visit with Coach McCaffrey. If you'd like to send in a question or a comment for Coach, you can do that any number of ways. Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. You can reach us on Twitter at Gary Dolphin. On YouTube, youtube.com/Hawkeye Radio Network. Leave your question in the live chat or by using the hashtag HawkTalk on social media. Again, we're sponsored by 1201 Kitchen and Tap, where the focus is simple: to deliver outstanding service, quality products, and consistency, along with a great menu selection. Guests to our Coralville restaurant, 1201 Kitchen and Tap, experience the best of Midwest American cuisine, domestic and Iowa craft beers, and specialty drinks. Visit 1201 Kitchen and Tap, just off I-80 at the Hampton Inn, inside the Hampton Inn and Radisson Hotel and Conference Center. 1201 Kitchen and Tap. We hope to be back there next fall for Hawkeye Basketball Weekly Hawk Talks with Fran McCaffery. Also, Bobby and I are courtesy of Authentic Brand. Gear up for Iowa's next game with Authentic Brand. It's a great Iowa company making Hawkeye apparel for men, women, and children and grandkids. It's the apparel Bobby and I wear on game days. Find Authentic Brand at local retailers across the state or order online at authentic-brand.com. Authentic Brand. Look authentic, feel authentic, and be authentic. Back with more Hawk Talk with the head coach of the Hawkeyes in just a minute.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
It all started with a grilled cheese sandwich. 2 simple pieces of bread, some butter, and a slice of American cheese. But after making it day after day, week after week, I hungered for more. Colby, provolone, Gouda. But Gouda wasn't good enough. I wanted great. I added tomatoes, pickles, jalapenos. If I could birth this gooey work of art in my tiny, modest kitchen, imagine what I could do in a gourmet chef's kitchen. So I called U.S. Bank about loaning me some extra cheddar. Now I had the mad cheese skill and a superior grill. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When the world began to change and wearing face covers was recommended for men, women, and children, Authentic Brand responded, transforming our production to much-needed quality masks and delivering on the demands of millions. This is the spirit of Authentic Brand, excelling in the areas that others cannot or will not. You feel the difference in every piece of Authentic Brand gear that you buy, giving you the authentic spirit to take the world in your own way, at work, at the game, or relaxing at home. Be authentically safe and comfortable in Authentic Brand. Visit us online at authentic-brand.com.
Here in Iowa, corn is more than our livelihood. It's our way of life. We use it to feed our livestock, helping us raise healthy pigs, cows, and chickens. We use it to make ethanol, helping us power a prosperous, clean-burning future. We use it to nourish our families, helping us stay strong generation to generation. And the more we use it, the more it boosts our economy, helping elevate the lives of all Iowans. You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
We're back on Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, Gary Dolphin, and Bobby Hansen. We're in the TV network studio at Kinnick Stadium. Coach is in his office over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Iowa, Michigan State coming up on Thursday night. We'll talk more about that game as the evening wears on. We've got Randy on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Randy asks, can you compare the Final Four team Bobby played on to this year's team? Well, maybe I should ask Bobby that question first, and then we'll get Fran's thoughts. But that Final Four team in 1980, by the way, a happy, 40th anniversary to you and the rest of that crew, Ronnie Lester, the great Ronnie Lester, and Kenny Arnold, Vince Brookins. But do you see any similarities in your 1980 Final Four team?
Well, it's different times, I guess, if you will, Gary. Mm-hmm. Almost 41 years now, and we were in Indianapolis. Final Four was in Indianapolis. The entire NCAA tournament will be there. Fran has gotten to know everybody on that Final Four team, so he'll be able to answer that question as well. What I see similarity is the camaraderie of the teams, the closeness of these teams, and where we are lifelong friends 40 years later. Mm-hmm. Those guys on that team, these kids are getting an experience where they're together all the time now. It really builds that bond, which I think when kids kind of get their apartments and move out after their freshman year, then they kind of move away after practice. We were together all the time as well. We were at Hillcrest Dorm for 4 years, all the time. So we really got to know each other, spent a ton of time together, and that would be the thing, the closeness of that team and the strength of those friendships together. We had a ton of injuries that year. Ronnie Lester, the first injury, with the knee. Mark Gannon blows his ACL out. Kenny Arnold breaks his shooting thumb. I break my left hand. Steve Craftsison was a bundle of tape. He kept John Streif going there. I mean, so we just were hanging on. There were only really 7 guys that could play, where Fran's got 10, 11, 12 guys that he can choose from to mix and match. So other than, the guys, we were led by an All-American point guard that didn't play half the year in Ronnie Lester, but when he came back, we were pretty good.
And the Hawks led by an All-American post player, inside player, and Luka Garza, who can shoot the three. Coach, thank you, Randy, by the way, at Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. We appreciate your insight. Fran, you were coaching then. Do you have memories of that 1980? I know you've gotten to know Steve Waite and Craftsison and everybody involved with the 80 team. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head where you were in 1980. Which school?
Well, I wasn't coaching.
Oh, I was in error.
Sorry to wake you up, Dolph.
Okay. Don't get sideways over
He was
that
at the
question.
Spectrum, actually.
I was at the game. I was a player at the University of Pennsylvania, but I was at the game and I saw. Well, I was at both games when you won in Philadelphia to go to the Final Four. Very impressive group in terms of that. You guys had talent at multiple positions. Yourself and Ronnie, Kenny. I mean, Vince Brookins, like you said, but you had your bigs, you had your athletic guys. You could defend, and you're right, Bobby. Game. I mean, now I think when people hear what's a different game, it's like that means somehow it's better now. That team could have played today's style. Now we have a clock. Now we have the three-point shot. You didn't have that in those days. So teams would let the air out of it. And, you didn't shoot as many long-range jumpers. Maybe you did, but, and you had guys that could make that shot, but it didn't count for three. So it was like, well, why not move it and get a closer shot or get a layup? So it was a little bit of a different game. But I think that team had players that had the kind of versatility that you see guys have today. Like big guys who could move, wings that could play in the post or play on the perimeter, quickness in the backcourt, really could play fast, could play slow, could play physical. And it's, let's be honest, that's the only way you get to the Final Four. You kind of have to have all of those qualities to beat the kind of teams that you beat to get there.
Yeah, and the teams Fran's talking about, I pulled it up the other day. The quadrant there was Iowa, Georgetown, Maryland, and Syracuse. We beat Syracuse on Friday night, and Fran and I were talking about this last year. He said all three of those other teams thought they were going to the Final Four from there. With Syracuse, I think was the number one seed.
Especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
you were the team that nobody expected because Georgetown, Syracuse were so good. I think everybody thought it would probably be one of those two teams. But, Maryland had Buck Williams and Albert King. Mm-hmm. I think the prevailing feeling in that facility was one of those three Eastern teams is going to come out of Philadelphia and go to the Final Four. And Iowa comes in and beats Syracuse and Georgetown, which was really, really impressive. And I think what made it impressive to me was how you did it. I mean, just played the way you have to play. We just talked about it, though. No panic. Mm-hmm. Played the game the right way. Shared the ball, moved the ball, played defense, competed on the glass, made big plays coming down the stretch, distributed the offense around. Ronnie was one of those guys, by the end of the weekend, everybody back east, they were talking about him. But, I mean, Vince Brookins, I think, made every shot. Yep. Bobby was on fire. So they're like, wait a minute. This is what the Big Ten is. Because in those days, it was Big East, Big East, Big East.
Sure.
ACC, Big East. It was like nothing west of Pittsburgh mattered. But if you live in the Midwest, you know what Big Ten basketball is. And what, in those days, I guess it was the Big 8. Now it's the Big 12. Mm-hmm. So played pretty good basketball in the Midwest, too. Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of the tournament. It gave us an opportunity, all of us, that is, to kind of see the differing styles and the different talent, and let the good teams face off against each other, and see who's still standing at the end. And to come through Philadelphia with those other three teams really says a lot. And I think, Bobby, it's been fun for me to get to know those guys. But you look back and say, okay, well, wow, it was pretty special what you did as a group. But when you see how together you were, how much you loved each other, that's how you get there. It wasn't just talent. Yes, you had a great coach, great coaching staff, but it was that love for each other, and I think you saw it with how every one of you responded to Kenny's illness and ultimate passing. Everybody from that team was at the funeral.
Yeah.
And everybody from that team came here when we honored your team and we honored Coach Olson. And you guys are around here a lot, and you know that you're always welcome. And that's the beauty of the Iowa basketball program. It's a respect and recognition of those who came before, and everybody that plays now tries to uphold the standards that you guys set.
Very well said, Coach. Much appreciated as well. And I would add to the question, similarities, free throw shooting. I think in that game the Hawkeyes were 19 out of 20, 15 out of 15 in the second half, and you have a great free throw shooting team as well.
We do, and that's you're so right. I mean, you're trying to be one of the teams that makes the Final Four. You got to take advantage of getting to the line and then making your free throws coming down the stretch. And you don't want to foul anybody on that team, and I feel the same way about this team.
Yeah, and the other thing about that was played at the Spectrum, which at the time was Rocky, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Fran, what was your favorite Rocky movie?
Well, I think you got to go with Rocky 1, because when it first came out, Sylvester Stallone, he really captured the city of Philadelphia. So if you're from Philadelphia, you appreciate the neighborhoods, the corner, where everybody went to box, but the people and the passion that they have, he nailed it. And it's hard to make as many sequels as he made, and every one of them was incredibly successful. And now you have the Creed spinoffs, which have been equally successful. Everybody can't wait for Creed 3. But I think Rocky 1, as it identified Rocky Balboa, the character, Apollo Creed was tremendous. But just the characters in that film, Paulie, really, I mean, timeless. They're timeless. It came out in 1976, Rocky 1. You could watch it today and enjoy it just as much as you did in 1976.
Well, my wife loves Rocky, and she made me sit and watch. There was a Rocky marathon on last week, 6 of them. I made it through 3 of them, so she was proud of me. Man, them fight scenes just wear you out when you watch them.
Well, that's another thing. Fight scenes are hard to make, and they were really good. I mean, they were actually in there slugging it out.
Man.
And it was really realistic, and I think that made it good too.
The body blows. Whew.
Yeah, that's
hurts thinking about it.
You're right, though, Coach. It's always hard to improve on the original movie. Godfather would be an exception, Rocky. But I want to ask you about the Spectrum. For those of us that grew up like I did, loving Hal Greer and the Philadelphia 76ers and Luke Jackson and Billy Cunningham, the Spectrum with all the color, it was really an arena ahead of its time. What was it like as watching a basketball game or playing in that facility?
Well, yeah, I've done both. Remember now, the 66-67 Sixers team, they played at the old Convention Hall.
Yeah, the Spectrum wasn't built.
The Spectrum opened up in, I'm going to say, 69-70. So that team you're referring to, those guys did end up playing there a little bit. I can't remember exactly Chamberlain to L.A.
Yeah.
I think he just decided he wanted to move to L.A. So that was the early, it happens all the time now, but very few people had the power to engineer a trade like he did. He was the NBA, he and Bill Russell. But you're right, the Spectrum was sort of a state-of-the-art facility in those days, and it was still going strong up to not very long ago. That's not where the Sixers play now. It's not even there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They kept it open for a while, even after they built a new place. And the Flyers minor league hockey team would sell out the Spectrum every game. So Philadelphia is a great basketball town, but it's a great hockey town. It's a great football town. But I saw some unbelievable games in that building. I mean, I used to go to see, Doug Collins was like my favorite player, and I loved Dr. J. So you had it went from the Hal Greer, Wilt Chamberlain, Luke Jackson, Chet Walker, Billy Cunningham teams to the Doug Collins, Dr. J, Mo Cheeks, Moses Malone, Bobby Jones,
Tony.
teams.
Oh man.
And
Tony, yeah.
They won it. They won it in '83. But they were in the finals in '80. They were knocking on the door quite a bit. They were in the finals in '77 when they lost to Bill Walton and the Portland Trail Blazers. Great series. But there was, I've seen great college basketball games in that facility and great professional games and great professional players. I remember when Pete Maravich came into the league. My dad got tickets and took my brother and I and my mom to go see Pete Maravich in the Spectrum right after the Spectrum had opened. And it was a time when the league was really booming, because it was the Sixers Celtics rivalry, Chamberlain Russell, that sort of propelled the NBA in those days. Because as you remember, the NBA wasn't a big deal. A lot of those arenas were owned by the same person. They owned hockey teams. And they started the NBA because they had dark nights. So the building was empty. All right, we'll try the NBA, see if it works. And that's how Red Auerbach made all the trades he made to swindle everybody to get all the best players, because he was negotiating with hockey owners. They didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And he was smarter than them, and his Celtics built a dynasty. But that was when the NBA first appeared on television. And, of course, television changed everything.
It sure did.
But then, of course, it was, like I said, it was Dr. J, and then it was Magic and Bird, then it was Michael. And in '92, Dream Team won. That really took professional basketball global. And then it became a worldwide thing. And, now, up until the crazy tweet a couple years ago, it's bigger than big in China. It's always been big in Europe. It's big in Mexico. And it's back to being big in China again. We got a little political backlash on that, but nothing that, was going to derail the interest in the NBA on a global level.
Read a great article a few weeks ago, Fran, on Dr. J, and, man, how he changed the game and what a great player he was to watch. And he talked a lot about his brother, who passed away at an early age. It was a very moving, touching article from one of the great players of all time. And you mentioned the political side of things. I wanted to ask you what happened in the nation's capital occurred after our show last week on Wednesday, and the Hawks were playing the next night at the University of Maryland. Did you have a sit-down with your team? Did you have a conversation with the guys about the state of things today in political circles, particularly in lieu of what happened last Wednesday?
What's really sad, Dolph, is we've had too many of those discussions.
For sure.
And that's, to me, what's disappointing, because we shouldn't have to. What happened last week was an absolute disgrace to our society, to our democracy. It's just an embarrassing situation worldwide. As you all know, it all happened when we were en route.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the hotel, and there's police presence at the hotel. And what we said was, okay, let's, we all understand what happened today at the Capitol. We didn't really know specifics yet because we hadn't really had a chance to digest it. But we just said, hey, look, just stay inside the hotel and stay together and stay safe, which is what we did. And then, we watched TV that night, watched TV the next day, and went and played the game. And that's when the players got together and felt like a statement was necessary. So everybody knelt, players on both teams, referees, coaches on both teams, to just kind of be as one. We are good and decent people, and what took place at the Capitol will not be tolerated by good and decent people. And it's going to be interesting to follow where this ends up in the next couple days. And it was sad. But at some point, you deal with reality, and there are sick people out there.
Yep.
Hopefully,
and that's who storms the Capitol. Sick people.
Yeah, this hopefully shocks both sides of the aisle. Reach across, shake hands, and let's get on to the people's business, as they say. Well, we'll move on. By the way, I apologize for thinking that you were much more mature and sophisticated looking and older than you really are. You were dribbling the ball for who?
Fran was a young coach, but he wasn't coaching
at
21 years old.
That's what I meant. I was trying to pay the guy a compliment, and I just got a little off base there, but that's...
Well, you remembered us talking about the fact that I was at the game.
Yes.
And and I was. And it was one of those things where, as you can imagine, it wasn't easy to get a ticket.
Yeah, almost impossible.
I think John Darcy actually wrote an article about it because I didn't have tickets for the game either. But my brother was a sports writer covering the game. So we had a friend who worked the media entrance. And so I was able to kind of walk in with my brother for the games, not having a seat. But we got there early and sort of created a seat at press row because they had name tags for everybody. So we moved a couple, little bit to the right, little bit to the left, little bit to the right, little bit to the left.
Make some space. Get out of the way.
Yeah. The announcement.
Did I see those great games? I sat courtside for those great games.
Yeah.
Kind of like
a great article Darcy wrote, too.
Yeah.
Kind of like the announcement in church, would you all please move to the middle or at a concert? We have more people trying to get. You had a good gig going. Your dad was a police officer in Philly. He'd let you in the side door for great high school games and college games in Philly. And then Jack was able to get you in for the final.
Well, the funny thing about my dad was, for the longest time, he worked the gate. So he literally... it was like putting the fox in the hen house. I mean, everybody that we knew got into games for free, whether they were sold out or not. And everybody knew, go to the back door. Mr. Mack will be there. He'll let you in. Just the thing was, like, just keep walking.
Act like you own the place.
So, he's by the turnstile. You're supposed to hand him a ticket, and the deal was, just keep walking. He won't say anything. You don't say anything. Don't stop. Just walk through the turnstile and keep on going.
Who's going to question an esteemed law enforcement officer of the city of Philadelphia? There you go.
Nice.
Those are great memories, good stories. The other thought I had now, the 3-point shot then came in around, 86, 87, as I remember?
86.
Yeah. Okay. And the other thought, as you were talking about Maryland, I had forgotten Maryland was a fourth team there. So you had 4 Hall of Fame coaches. I assume Lefty Drizel was still coaching Maryland.
Yep. John was coaching.
John Thompson, Lute, and Jim Boeheim.
And Jim Boeheim. Yeah, all 4.
My goodness. That'd be tough, Xing and Owen against those guys, but great memories. All right, Coach, we'll give you a break here for a couple minutes. We've got to take a timeout and hear from our wonderful sponsors. We've got some comments on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook when we come back for Fran McCaffrey, and we'll talk about Michigan State. We haven't forgotten about Tom Izzo and the Spartans. Hawk Talk is brought to you tonight by Bud Light. Whenever there's a Hawkeye game to watch, there's a Bud Light right nearby. And U.S. Cellular, proud to be the official wireless sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular, connecting Hawkeye Nation. Iowa Corn is a proud supporter of the Hawks. The Cyhawk series is on hold for this season. Iowa's corn farmers, though, will continue to stand behind this unique series and everything it stands for, because here in Iowa, we grow corn. But the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Let's step out, take a timeout. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Back after this.
Is your vehicle worn out from winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad, Brian Sekafetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
You love your business. Every day you coddle it, pamper it. Maybe the growing pains were hard, but you put everything into it, nurtured it and fed it so it would grow. It's only natural that you'd want to protect it with the right insurance. Pamper your business with a policy from West Bend and wrap it in the cozy warmth of the Silver Lining. Visit thesilverlining.com to find out more.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life care.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline, day or night, for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Fans, if you want to give your taste buds the thrill of a dramatic, fun-filled victory, try Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes. With a roster of all-star flavors, Loaded Sundaes have tons of toppings, swirled in deliciously soft ice cream. Even better, they come straight from the freezer, so you can grab one and get right back to the game. The next time you're in the freezer aisle, let your fun side act as head coach. Get Blue Bunny Loaded Sundaes, available now at your local grocery store.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series with supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme. Powered by Mediacom.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey, Gary Dolphin, and Bobby Hansen on one side of campus, coaches on the other. We're practicing our social distancing. Luka Garza has been named to the John Wooden Award mid-season top 25. That announcement made a few days back by the Los Angeles Athletic Club, symbolic of the best player in college basketball. Granted, we're a little partial. But the 6'11", 265-pound Garza has been named to every major preseason All-America team and National Player of the Year award. He is now ascended to second in the Hawkeyes' all-time scoring chart, trailing only Roy Marble. Luka went over the 1,900-point threshold yesterday. He's a couple hundred behind the great Roy Marble. There's a marble on the Michigan State roster that I've been following this year. I checked with the Michigan State people, and they say that the junior Marble, the not quite 7 feet, he's 6'10" center, is no relation to Roy or Devin. Michigan State at 2-4 in the conference, in the Big Ten 8-4 overall. As we welcome Coach McCaffrey back in. Fran, as they say, don't let the numbers deceive you. They got beat at the buzzer, almost at the buzzer, by Travion Williams. Short jumper last week, and that's after Michigan State had a 17-point lead. And I bring that up because they're capable of running anybody out of the building. They're still as athletic and as solid talent-wise with Aaron Henry, Joey Hauser, the transfer. Give us your synopsis of this year's Michigan State team, record aside.
Yeah, that game was incredible. You got to give some credit to Purdue. The way they played defense in the second half. I mean, they were down 33-16 at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Purdue was, and came back and won. But what they did in the last 25 seconds, it was one of those things. Everything had to go wrong in that period of time. Michigan State missed free throws. They turned the ball over. Travion Williams made an incredible shot, and then Aaron Henry missed the last shot, which was actually a pretty good play by him. That was a tough loss for them. But they held Purdue to 16 points in one half. So that shows you what they're capable of doing defensively. Physical team, big and strong. They got a lot of post guys, Bingham, Marble, who you mentioned, Kithier. I mean, they just keep them coming. They've got sort of a whole bunch of talented guys. You lose Cassius, all right, then Aaron Henry, will kind of step in and kind of be the guy for them. But they still have Gabe Brown. They've got different guys they can go with at the point guard position. Rocket Watts, who can play both spots. He's a really good player. But Foster Lawyer or Hogard, the kid from Philly. But again, Hall is tremendous. Really good freshman last year, really coming into his own as a sophomore. Joey Hauser, as you pointed out, double-figure scorer at Marquette, and now he's doing it at Michigan State. So they can go big, they can go small, and they can go deep. But it's a team that we're going to get their best fight. They lost their last game. They thought they had it. Incredibly proud program with a great coach with tremendous talent. Hope to play really well, and we'll get them ready.
And Coach Joshua Langford, a comment on him. Is he healthy now? Again, I know, the last couple of years?
Yeah, I should have mentioned him because, he's always been kind of one of my favorite guys. I mean, I just love his game. And I think everybody kind of forgot about him.
Right.
Because, he was hurt for 2 years. I mean, everybody thought he was going to be back last year and hurt his foot again. And everybody gets nervous. You hurt your foot, then you hurt it again. He's never going to play again. Well, no, he's playing, and he's playing really well. And he has had big baskets for them when they really need him, which is what you expect from a veteran guy. Really good shooter, really good defender, great length, almost automatic with his pull-up game. If he comes off a down screen, he's just raising up. But he also obviously can stretch the floor and shoot threes.
Yeah, he's averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists. So they're getting some decent production out of Joshua, considering the fact that he's missed the last 2 years. But you're right, Coach. Henry, Hauser, Rocket Watts, a lot of talent on that Michigan State roster. And the Spartans come calling Thursday night. Our pregame coverage starts at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock for the tip. Fran, before we let you go here, we're almost at the top of the hour. We'll go to our lightning round here. We got a couple questions on Twitter and Facebook. Jake is a big Aaron Eulis fan. Fran, now that you're playing 9, 10, 11 men, he said players like Eulis and other freshmen, will they get more minutes now that they're getting the experience? Thanks for being the coach of the Hawkeyes. That's from Jake on Twitter.
I think it's a great point, Jake. I mean, those guys are ready to play. And what they'll do is they'll get minutes as needed. They were needed at Rutgers. They weren't needed as much in the next 2 games. They will be, God forbid, but somebody's going to tweak an ankle or get in foul trouble. And it's nice to know that we can go to those guys and have them ready. They're multiple position guys. Chris Murray can play 3 and 4. Aaron can play 1 and 2. Tony can play 1, 2, and 3. They're all really athletic, so it gives us another dimension there. But all 3 of them are smart and tough and don't rattle. I think we saw that at Rutgers.
And Doug, in the YouTube chat room, he feels that Connor and Joe T are going to be critical against the Michigan State pressure on Thursday. He wants to know how the ankle injuries are coming along. Are the guys back totally healthy?
Yeah, they're good now. Whenever you tweak your ankle, you're a little gimpy. We watch you in practice. We really made sure that that Connor was able to play in the last 2 games. He was obviously phenomenal at Maryland. Got in foul trouble yesterday. But again, when he was out there, hit a huge 3 in that one stretch, couple great assists. But, if he's out, Patrick comes in and makes 2 baskets. Bohannon goes off. Wieskamp goes and gets 20. And that's kind of who we are. I thought Keegan was good. He didn't get the minutes because he got in foul trouble as well. But then Jack Nungy gets 10 rebounds. So that's the kind of team we have. And it's fun to be able to kind of walk down that bench and say, okay, I can put so-and-so in. I can go big. I can go small. I can put my veteran guys out there. I can put my young guys out there, and we don't lose anything.
And they're fun to watch, too. All right, Coach, Get back to the film room.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Fran. We'll see you Thursday. Yep. Coach Fran McCaffrey here on Hawk Talk from Iowa City. We got some breaking news, too. Nebraska men's basketball has paused team activities due to positive COVID-19 results. That just in a few minutes ago. The Cornhuskers have postponed their game with Illinois on January 13th. I guess that would be, Wednesday?
Today's the 11th,
right? 12-13, yeah. So breaking news out of Lincoln. Coach Fred Hoiberg and the Huskers have paused all men's basketball activities. We'll keep you posted on that. Before we take a break, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffrey. 10-second ID pause. Of course, we're talking Iowa basketball. When we come back, we'll get you caught up on the U.S. Bank scoreboard. That's next on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey.
Get your ice cold Bud Light Seltzer here. Even though you can't go to the game, doesn't mean the game can't be brought to you now here. Just go to budlight.com/delivery. That's budlight.com/delivery.
Give me 2 mangoes.
Coming at you. It's a little short. Ow. Sorry. You know what? I'm just going to walk them over to you.
Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, and Bud Light Seltzer, IRC Beer, beer in Texas, St. Louis, Missouri.
Staying connected means games can still feel like this, even if they actually sound like this. That's why U.S. Cellular is building a 5G network that works from outside to inside uninterrupted, so you can stay connected even if you aren't at the game. Right now, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. Check out uscellular.com for more info. U.S. Cellular. Data may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Video streams at up to 480p DVD quality. Credit approval and autopay paperless billing required. Additional terms apply.
Like any winning team, it takes every part of EMC insurance companies working together to successfully ensure that our agents, policyholders, and employees can count on EMC. And they do. They count on our broad range of insurance products and services. They count on our superior level of personalized service, and they trust that we will continue to be a financially stable partner, just like we have been for more than 100 years. All of this makes EMC one of the nation's premier insurance companies, and that's something you can always count on.
Do you ever feel like you spend more time trying to work out than actually working out? Skip the hassles and bring the gym into your home with help from the friendly fitness experts at Shields. We'll help you choose the right equipment to meet your goals, and we'll be right there with you for delivery, setup, and service. And with the Shields guarantee, you never take a chance on your purchase. If you don't love it, we'll make it right. This year, it's your space, your time, your fitness, with a little help from Shields. In store or online at shields.com.
Expert care for sports injuries means getting back in the game sooner and stronger. I'm Dr. Brian Wolf, Director at University of Iowa Sports Medicine and Team Physician for the Iowa Hawkeyes. You should never play through pain. That's why our sports medicine experts are here for you with same day, next day, and evening appointments. For imaging, therapy, or surgery, choose the team the Iowa Hawkeyes choose. Schedule a visit at uihc.org/sportsmedicine.
The Iowa Lottery's new cash game is clearly different.
What? How?
Because you can see right through it.
How can you see through a ticket?
Well, it's clear.
What's clear? I don't understand.
I'm being as clear as I can, just like the new scratch ticket.
Okay, I'm still unclear. How much cash can you win?
$100,000 top prize on the ticket plus $200,000 in Play It Again prizes.
That's a lot of cash.
Clearly.
The new cash game from the Iowa Lottery. The difference is clear. Visit ialottery.com for rules and complete details.
Woohoo!
We're back with more Hawk Talk and Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. Thanks to Fran for being here with us for the first hour tonight. Bobby Hansen and I will take it the rest of the way. Time for a U.S. Bank scoreboard update. U.S. Bank, a proud supporter of Hawkeye basketball for many, many years. U.S. Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Our national championship football game is ongoing. Let's check that update. Alabama and Ohio State, Big Ten versus the Southeastern Conference, are about 3 minutes into the second period. And we have, let's see, Alabama 14, Ohio State 7. Of course, Bama is ranked number 1. The Buckeyes, Alabama at 12-0. The Buckeyes at 7-0, undefeateds, going after each other tonight. That game is we're on South Beach, and it's down in Miami. Miami 14-7. Alabama with the lead and with the football early on in the second period. And no other Big Ten basketball games in action tonight. Let's see here. Just checking the scoreboard here. I know there was Connecticut. I knew there was something in the Big East. Connecticut ranked 25th, knocked off DePaul 60-53. Of course, the Hawkeyes take on the Michigan State Spartans coming up on Thursday. And if you missed it before we took our last break, Nebraska. The Nebraska men's basketball program has put everything on hold. They've paused all men's basketball activities due to COVID-19 issues. We'll keep you posted on that in the days ahead. That's our U.S. Bank scoreboard update. Back with more Hawk Talk and Coach McCaffrey in just a minute.
Staying connected means games can still feel like this, even if they actually sound like this. That's why U.S. Cellular is building a 5G network that works from outside to inside uninterrupted, so you can stay connected even if you aren't at the game. Right now, get unlimited data for just $30 a month. Check out uscellular.com for more info. U.S. Cellular. Data may be temporarily slower than other traffic in times of congestion. Video streams at up to 480p DVD quality. Credit approval and autopay paperless billing required. Additional terms apply.
Primary care providers should be able to look at patients, read between the lines, and know something's not right. Hi, I'm Dr. Denise Martinez at University of Iowa Healthcare. 80% of conditions can be treated by a family medicine doctor, so our comprehensive and caring approach is key. And if it turns out to be serious or out of our scope, we'll connect you to the right specialists right away. With experts all across the region, find one near you at uihc.org.
Get ready for more. Introducing Hy-Vee Plus. Get a Hy-Vee Plus premium membership for just $99 a year and get fuel savings every time you shop in-store and online. Plus, exclusive deals and offers every month. Plus, you can call our Red Line hotline, day or night, for anything you need. Plus, free online delivery and free express pickup. Plus, a personal online shopper. With Hy-Vee Plus, our plus equals more. Sign up today. Some restrictions apply.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. Gary Dolphin here for UPS. Your customers want more from your business. You've got to make more happen, whether they're in Coralville or on the other side of the world. Globally or locally, UPS is building solutions to help businesses give their customers exactly what they want. More made easy. UPS, the official logistics company of Iowa Athletics.
Experience the benefit of blue with a Medicare supplement plan from Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. With our plans, you'll enjoy nationwide access to care, optional dental, vision, and hearing coverage, and more. Call 1-888-616-8927 or go online to wellmark.com/Medicare plans. You may even qualify for a special household discount. This is the benefit of blue. Wellmark Blue Dental product available to Iowa residents only. Must reside in the service area of the plan. Wellmark Medicare supplement insurance plans are not connected with or endorsed by any government agency.
United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. We want to recognize your business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. You could win a chance to promote your business to Hawk fans. Winners receive radio promotions, social media recognition, and more. Register to put your business in the spotlight. Visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. United Healthcare is a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. For terms and conditions, visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. Sweepstakes rules and restrictions apply.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffrey. A couple more scores here courtesy of U.S. Bank finals that we overlooked a moment ago. We told you about the Nebraska men's program pausing all team activities. College basketball finals, UConn beat DePaul 60-53. Loyola Chicago 10 better than Indiana State 58-48 tonight. Colorado has now gone final, defeating Utah 65-58. In the Big Ten, no games tonight. Tomorrow the big one is Wisconsin number 9 at number 7, Michigan. That's the big one at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. On Wednesday, Northwestern will be at Ohio State. Of course, Illinois was scheduled to be at Nebraska, but that has been postponed now. They hopefully can make that up down the road. Then Thursday, of course, the Hawks host the Michigan State Spartans, and the early game that day is Purdue at Indiana. So it really starts to get interesting, Bobby. These games start coming in 2s and 3s every week, one on top of the other.
Yeah, they really do. You got to stay on top of it. And, I tried to look at everybody's schedule yesterday, just trying to mix and match, and impossible. You really got to focus on the next game at hand, and I know that's what these coaches, what these players do. You can't get ahead of yourself.
There is other football news tonight besides the Alabama-Ohio State game, which, by the way, the Buckeyes just recovered a strip fumble by the Ohio State defense and took it in and scored a couple plays later. So that game is all knotted up now at 14-14. The Buckeyes and Alabama for the national championship. About 5 minutes gone in that second period. And what great news today here in Iowa City. Andre Tippett and Bobby Stoops have been voted into the College Football Hall of Fame. 2 of, I think, 11 players and coaches that were announced today as the latest inductees. They'll be honored this December at a big dinner in, I believe, New York City. Bob Stoops is going in as the coach, of course, of the Oklahoma Sooners, national champions. He led them to 10, 11 straight Big 12 championships. What a phenomenal Hall of Fame career Bob has had down in Norman, but he was a heck of a football player here at the University of Iowa, and you knew him well. You sat in the classroom a lot with Bobby.
Yeah, we were both business majors and marketing majors. Bobby was a year older, high school 78. I was high school 79. Took the red shirt year, but he started for Hayden Fry in Hayden's first year there in 1979, that team that ended up going to the Rose Bowl. I think Gordy Bohannon was the quarterback way before the kids were born, obviously. But, yeah, that was a heck of a group. Andre Tippett, that defense was like the 85 Bears, the way they swarmed the ball and the way they'd hit you. I mean, Bobby Stoops was a hitter back there.
Bobby, Mike, and Mark, all the Stoops boys played here at Iowa under Hayden Fry. And Andre Tippett, I mean, he helped, he and, of course, Bob Stoops as well. But Tippett, that defense really clicked from day one and really helped turn the tradition back in favor of Iowa football back in the late 70s, early 80s. And, Coach Fry, that was that incredible coaching staff that he had that has gone on to become, branch-wise, the greatest coaching staff ever. They put more head coaches on the sidelines in college football than any other staff, including Bear Bryant and Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler. Andre Tippett was the linchpin. He was the catalyst, the bell cow of that defense. All-American, consensus All-American at the University of Iowa. But when you look at Pat Dean and Hap Peterson and
Brad Webb, the linebacker.
That front four, that down front was something else. And here Mark Bortz became a great offensive lineman in the NFL because he was such a down-in-the-dirt maniac defensive tackle playing next to Tippett here at Iowa. Bortzy.
I forgot he was on the defense. Yeah. He was my next-door neighbor at Hillcrest. My freshman year, Gannon and I living in there, but they were a bunch of mean hombres. Put it that way. And Andre Tippett's comments today were like, "I'll walk down any dark alley with that crew."
Yeah, he named all 11 guys on defense. He said, "I'd walk down any dark alley with that crew."
Bring it on.
Pat Dean, what a football player he was. But, yeah, fun memories. I remember the Hawks beating Michigan State here at Kinnick Stadium that day to clinch a Rose Bowl berth because there had been an upset in the Ohio State-Michigan game that afternoon, and that opened the door for the Hawks in 1980-81 to head back to the Rose Bowl. So we hope to have Andre and Bobby on our Fight for Iowa podcast here in the next few weeks and hopefully have one or both on a pregame show here, if not Thursday night, certainly moving forward here in the next week on the Hawkeye Radio Network for basketball, so be sure and stay tuned. Bobby, I wanted to, I probably wasn't wording it properly with Fran. I was trying to talk about Luka's inside play with the post-entry feeds from what are arguably outstanding passers among the Iowa guard court. I want to get your thoughts on that when we come back on Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery.
Is your vehicle worn out from winter? Before spring arrives, get a free vehicle inspection from my dad, Brian Sekefetz, and his staff at Dodge Street Tire and Auto. For over 25 good years, they've been your family-friendly, dependable, and honest neighborhood auto repair shop. That's why their loyal customers have once again voted Dodge Street Tire as the best in the area. Don't be left out in the cold. Dodge Street Tire and Auto at the corner of Dodge and Church Street.
American Equity salutes today's hero of the game and is a proud sponsor of the ongoing recognition of our military at Hawkeye Games this season. Thank you to all the men and women, past and present, who have served our country and allow all of us to enjoy the freedom and liberty we enjoy today. American Equity's vision is to become the premier insurance company specializing in retirement savings and income products. To learn more about our company, please visit our website at american-equity.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Rowe, Executive Director at Oak Knoll. It's that time of year when shoveling snow and putting down ice melt is here. This is the perfect time to consider moving to Oak Knoll. Let us do the shoveling and winter maintenance for you. Move-in ready 1- and 2-bedroom apartments are available now. Call me today for your personal tour and learn how you can come home to Oak Knoll. Give the gift of a lifetime, the gift of life care.
Champions share common traits: integrity, reliability, hard work, and innovation. Your Better Business Bureau knows championship companies. We conduct background checks and listen to consumers around Iowa and Illinois, so we know the true character of these companies. Let the BBB match you with a championship company when you're hiring a contractor, using a business, or need a service. The Better Business Bureau is an Iowa nonprofit serving our neighbors for over 80 years. BBB help and information is free. So find us at bbb.org/Iowa.
MidAmerican Energy and you, together partnering to change the energy landscape by pioneering money-saving, energy efficiency programs and building a new industry in Iowa, wind energy, all while keeping your rates low. So what's next? We'll keep delivering cost-effective energy efficiency programs while putting money back in your pocket. That's right. You decide how best to spend your savings. That's a partnership good for you, good for the environment, and good for Iowa. Another way we're obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford Tough Trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Coach has left the building. Bobby Hansen and yours truly, Gary Dolphin, winding things down here. Alabama has just scored again on the U.S. Bank scoreboard and now leads Ohio State 21-14. That thing could be 90-80 before the night's over, Bob. The Hawks had 27 assists on 31 made baskets this year. That's been a pattern, and a lot of it has to do with Luka Garza. We know he can score, but everybody's crowding around him. You got to get him the ball, and that's why every pass is going to be far from perfect. But you've got Jordan Bohannon with 7 assists yesterday. We know what a good passer Wieskamp, CJ Toussaint with the no-look, Connor McCaffrey, one of the best distributors in college basketball. But I noticed yesterday, especially in the second half when Luka went off on that streak, there were some passes that would be too far behind, too far to the side a normal human being. Garza's got to be one of the great pass catchers and anticipators of where he knows where the ball is going, and he makes I don't want to call it bad passes, but average passes to below average. Yeah, tough passes, because they're taught we're going to feed the post. We're going to feed that horse Garza in there. He makes such great adjustments to the basketball, and then in one motion he's up and in with a score.
And the whole arena knows it, Gary. You're going to go to Luka Garza, so they're going to guard him. They're going to come with a quick double team. They're going to come on the bottom side, but it is an art. And what Jordan Bohannon did yesterday with 14 assists. I think he had 7 at halftime, but the 14 total assists, no turnovers. Connor had 10 assists at Maryland, I believe it was, and no turnovers. So, those two guys in particular, C.J. Frederick is a really good passer. He made a couple of nice feeds to Patrick McCaffrey for a basket. Patrick's a willing passer. Jack Nungy, everybody that comes in there. Luka Garza from the high post is a good passer, but to your point of feeding the post, couple things have to happen, and it's a skill, Gary, that you got to learn. It's not just something that you're used to throwing the ball inside to the big guy. You got to give it to him away from the defense. You got to throw a little bounce pass on the baseline side, and what the Hawks are so good at is giving Luka the ball in those positions, and as you mentioned, he catches it, doesn't have to put it on the floor, and he goes up and scores. I played with one of the all-time greats, Karl Malone. He made it easy to pass the ball inside there. He had that big body. He was making space, and when he gave you that look, clapped his hands, give me the ball. The ball better be delivered there, or consequences paid. But I love the way the Hawks look for Luka in the post, to look for anybody in there moving, but Luka does such a great job moving. He never stops. I thought he really tired out Liam Robbins yesterday, and he wasn't the same at the end of the game as he was at the beginning.
What I marvel at, skip passes, chest-high passes, rainbow lobs beyond everybody else's reach but his. Garza, I've often said he'd make a great tight end because he catches anything thrown in his neighborhood. And that's a part and parcel of a great scorer. It's a great mark of a guy like Garza, in that, you got to catch the ball. You got to get it under control before you can go up and score.
Good hands, soft hands. He's got good vision and not afraid to take contact, and he's strong. He's gotten so much stronger under Bill Maxwell and the strength and conditioning staff at basketball over there. And just fun to watch. Fun to watch kids develop like this.
And those big stud athletes at Michigan State will be surrounding Garza on both sides of the lane come Thursday night, 7 o'clock for the pregame show, 8 o'clock for the tip. Iowa and the Michigan State Spartans, as the 5th-ranked Hawks in the latest poll, go for win number 6 in a row at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Back with more as we wind down the Fran McCaffery Hawk Talk program for this week in just a minute.
The Iowa Lottery's new cash game is clearly different.
What? How?
Because you can see right through it.
How can you see through a ticket?
Well, it's clear.
What's clear? I don't understand.
I'm being as clear as I can, just like the new scratch ticket.
Okay, I'm still unclear. How much cash can you win?
$100,000 top prize on the ticket plus $200,000 in play it again prizes.
That's a lot of cash.
Clearly.
The new cash game from the Iowa Lottery. The difference is clear. Visit ialottery.com for rules and complete details.
Woohoo!
Hi, I'm Gary Dolphin, and if you want your home to be exceptionally comfortable during these cold Iowa winters and hot, humid summers, you need to turn to Dave Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Lennox has been serving Iowa consumers since 1895, when Dave Lennox built his first furnace in Marshalltown, and Lennox is still building its high-efficiency furnaces and air conditioners there today. For the best home comfort system you can buy, it's Lennox and your local Lennox dealer. Lennox and the Hawkeyes. Now there's a winning combination. United Healthcare believes small businesses are vital to our economy and an important part of our communities. Join United Healthcare in celebrating small businesses. We want to recognize your business with the Spotlight on Small Business Sweepstakes. You could win a chance to promote your business to Hawk fans. Winners receive radio promotions, social media recognition, and more. Register to put your business in the spotlight. Visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. United Healthcare is a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. For terms and conditions, visit HawkeyeSports.com/UHC. Sweepstakes rules and restrictions apply.
Whether it's a commercial, residential, healthcare, or industrial project, Carpenters Union Local 1260 provides a professional and productive workforce on time and on budget. And Union Carpenters also have specialized COVID prevention training to allow for the safest environment possible. Since 1902, Carpenters Union Local 1260 has been building the University of Iowa, and that relationship continues today as a proud partner of Hawkeye Athletics. To find a union contractor and union carpenters for your next job, visit carpentersunionlocal1260.com or call 319-338-1638. Iowa-based Renewable Energy Group is America's largest producer of biodiesel. Biodiesel delivers the performance farmers and fleet managers expect from their equipment. It's also one of the cleanest fuels available today. Using REG biodiesel is a simple way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality now with every tank full. For more than 20 years, REG has produced safe, clean, and high-quality sustainable fuel that's used in Iowa, across the U.S., and around the world. Learn more at regi.com.
Feel the power. Feel the speed. Feel extreme. Hawk fans, get extreme. Powered by Mediacom. And experience streaming so real you can feel it. Whether you're live streaming the game or streaming your favorite series, with supercharged speeds up to 1 gig and powerful whole home Wi-Fi, you're in it. Our 100% gigabit technology network was built to take you further. Get ready to feel it. Extreme, powered by MediaCom.
Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey. We're here every Monday night. Now, next Monday night, the Hawks play Northwestern, so we'll have an alternate date, perhaps the following night, for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey on Tuesday of next week because of that Iowa Northwestern game. Search your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to the official podcast of the Iowa Hawkeyes, the Fight for Iowa podcast presented by the Iowa Lottery. A bonus bowl episode with Coach Ferentz was posted a couple of weeks ago. A new episode this Wednesday will feature Davion Nixon, Iowa's latest consensus All-America football player. Davion Nixon will start airing on Wednesday, and then a week from Wednesday, Tyler Linderbaum, Iowa's All-American center. Boy, those guys in the middle, both lines were spectacular this year, Nixon and Linderbaum, and there were others.
They always are, man, and congratulations to those two young men in particular for their All-American honors.
I want to thank our presenting sponsor for Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, as always, 1201 Kitchen and Tap, located just off I-80 at the Hampton Inn and Radisson Hotel. Good luck to the Iowa wrestlers. They open up this week on the 15th. Coming up on Friday night, hosting Nebraska at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Go get them, Coach Brands and Spencer Lee and the other All-Americans in that lineup, defending champs. Hawks ranked number 1. That's our show for this week. Iowa, Michigan State Thursday. We'll talk then. Good night, everybody.
On the Hawkeye Sports Network from Learfield IMG College, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey, presented by 1201 Kitchen and Tap in Coralville, featuring an extensive menu of steak, seafood, and sandwiches, along with a full bar and wine selections. Also brought to you in part by Bud Light. Whenever there's a game to watch, there's a Bud Light there. Ford, inviting you to visit your local Ford store or buy Ford now.